testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, we got it. Okay, well, it's June 21st at a little after 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Today's broadcast, we're going to be going over a couple of things. Like with all of them, we're going to be doing, uh, we'll do Faraday Fabric. Okay. All right, guys. I need you to take a seat here. Take a seat here. Yeah, now I got another one. Hey. Yeah, what are you scared of? Huh? You scared of me? Hey, I'm over here. Yeah, right there. There you go. The other guy that's on me because this is not me. I can prove it because I can separate them. Just using the Faraday Fabric, showing you that this stick figure on me is not me. As you can see, I am now interacting with my left hand despite the fact that my left hand is behind my back, as you could see. It's not tracking that hand. My left hand on the screen is tracking with my right hand on the screen. Okay, and to prove it further, I can then just take this, and I go this, and then I can separate them off. Kind of. I gotta take this out. Wait a minute. Go away. Oh, this guy's pretty good. Wow. Yeah, you didn't think I was gonna go high there, did you? He's good at going left and right, this guy. Hey, I'm over here, stupid. Hey. Psst. Hey, I'm over here. There you go. See, what he was thinking was, I could already see you from here. Hey. He's trying to go high. This guy's pretty smart. He's stupid. I'm over here. You're already there. This guy's the best I've ever seen. I feel like we should be playing hide and seek with this guy more. He's real smart. That's the smartest one I've seen. And now I understand part of the reason why they don't respond to me when I call them over. They just tilted their head and looked in the other direction, and they didn't need to move. So I have to make the noise and then hide behind it. Once I hide behind it, then they'll come looking. Anyway, that's the Faraday Fabric. It's not, that's hide and seek. Okay, so I'm going to talk about what they're capable of doing. Okay, in a word, their greatest capability is a poke. So the poke will be like this, and they can strike you at a rate of very similar to what you could do physically to yourself. And so they are able to poke at a rate of 3 to 4 strikes per second. Like that. Each strike has the comparable force of a fly landing on your skin and then flying off. It's my contention that if a fly lands on your skin and just flies off, that most of the time when that happens, you wouldn't know it, because you'd only notice it when they land on your skin and they start walking around. Then you know, but not just if they land and then fly off. Okay. And so they'll actually come up to me and start gouging me in the eye like that. Well, to show you how little of an impact that has, they will be poking me in the eye for between 5 and 10 minutes. Okay? So at 3 strikes per second, that's 180 strikes per minute, or let's call it 200, and round that up by 5 minutes. They've struck me 1,000 times before it's gotten to the point where it's annoyed me and now I need to block them. Okay? But otherwise, every time they gouge me in the eye, it was not enough force to make me blink. The first gouge, maybe, but each subsequent one, nah, it wouldn't even make me blink. Okay, so gouging to the eyes, yeah, that's one thing they can do. Okay, but understand, they're able to make themselves into whatever shape that they want. And if they want to make themselves, or if they want to reach up my shorts, right, they can make their arm about the width of something that's smaller than a strand of spaghetti, and they could reach up and get to any part of your body that they want. Okay, and I promise you, when they do this to you for 8 hours on parts of your body that is not used to contact, you will wake up and you will know what they did. Okay, this, when they can get to any part of your body whenever they want, is their way of raping. The wound will be fairly superficial because they're not able to actually get inside of your body. I've only experienced one that had not only the energy but the knowledge by which to go inside somebody. He wasn't able to get inside me and start controlling me like a marionette. It was able to get inside me and then poke me from in there and start jolting me and punching me in the stomach and doing things like that. Okay, if that doesn't work, if poking you is not going to get your attention, okay, the more painful option is they can pinch. Okay, and so as a man, if they want to stop you from falling asleep, what they're going to do is they're going to reach up your shorts and they're going to just pinch your balls. And it doesn't require them to have that much energy to be able to do that. Now, part of the reason they're going to do that is they're not able to get to the skin. Okay, but if you're wearing, boxer shorts or whatever kind of undergarments that you're wearing, they'll pinch from the outside. They know exactly where to find everything. They never miss. Those situations are bad enough, but at least there are ways to block that from happening. However, defending yourself is not always the best answer, because in each example that I had, they started with me where they would go to the soles of my feet at the foot of my bed and just do this real lightly. And they would make it so my foot would itch. And it would be impossible to fall asleep because I would scratch my foot, the itching would go away, I wouldn't feel anything for 5 minutes, and then right when I was about to fall asleep again, there they were going after my foot. And so they're going to, torture you. Every 5 minutes they're going to make it so you wake up, you wake up, you wake up. And so my idea at the time was, okay, I'm just going to put socks on my feet. And at that point, what they did was they spent all night trying to pull the sock off my foot. And it turns out that was advantageous because it took them hours and hours and hours just to unhook that sock from around my heel. And if your goal is to keep them busy all night, which is definitely what you want to do if you're having this problem that I have here with these guys, right? If your goal is to keep them busy, that definitely works. Give them the sock to play with. You don't want to make it so that they can't get a successful result, because if you are too good at defending whatever it is that they're attacking you with, they are going to escalate and you're going to wish you had the old way back. They started tickling my feet and I blocked them from doing that. When they couldn't get to that, then they started jabbing me in the balls. Okay? Then I figured out that they're made of electricity, and so if I put a piece of metal underneath my balls, then when they tried to poke, the electricity would touch the metal and it would just dissipate. There'd be no poking, right? And so I first started with a paint can lid, and once I realized that worked, I just lined my entire bed with aluminum foil, and that stopped the poking from happening. Okay, but then the attacks actually got more and not less subtle. Okay, and what they would do is, and this is probably the most common thing that they do when you're in bed, they're able to reach in there and they're able to irritate your skin just a little bit. And what they're going to do is they're going to go right here and they're going to go teet, 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 a little lightly, and it's going to make you itch. Okay, and the problem is that spot, they're going to go after that spot in the middle and the back of your other shoulder blade. Okay, what they're going to do is they're going to reach underneath you and they're going to irritate the skin right there, and it's going to make you itch. And you can rub yourself against the back rub your back against the bed all you want. It's not going to work all the time. There's going to be times that you're going to have to sit up, reach back there and scratch that spot. Other times, what they'll do is they'll make your feet itch and you'll end up using one foot to scratch the other, and you'll scratch it all night. When you wake up the next day, your foot's going to be bleeding because you scratched it raw, and it's going to take weeks for that to heal. Anyway, how long have we been doing this? We're 15 minutes into this. I don't have much to demonstrate today because the cat toy that I found, this one, the battery's dead and there's no way to recharge it. It's a disposable thing. It's kind of ridiculous, all the disposable stuff we make with batteries in them. But at any rate, that's the way it is. Um, okay, I guess what I'll do one last try here. I'm going to go get the stand. I'll be right back. We're going to try to do some audio equipment testing and go from there. Shake my hand. Good, shake my hand. Just squeeze it. I'm not going to hurt you. Just squeeze it. Go ahead, squeeze my hand. Shake it. There you go. Go ahead, squeeze my hand. He's not cooperating today. All right, so let's get the iObulus thing. We're just going to ask one question today. We're just going to ask, we'll try to get a number out of them and say, I'm going to ask them how many of them are there, and we'll see if we can get a numerical response. iObulus. Okay, settings. Sensitivity is set high. We're going to leave it at that. I'm going to turn this on. Okay, we're going to ask them now. This question is for you guys. It spit out the word separate, but I haven't asked it any questions yet. Let me just explain this. This device, you have to speak into for me to understand what you're saying. I cannot hear you, okay? I cannot hear you at all. I can see where you are, but I can't hear for you. For me to hear you, you have to speak into this device. You see this device right here? You have to speak into that. Okay? Yeah, you speak into that and I will understand you. Okay? I have one question for you. Okay? You see it's got the word separate and fig on the list there. So I've got one question for you. My one question is, yeah, they spit out the word strange, and they're talking about the device. I know it's a strange device. Do not speak into it unless I ask you a question. Otherwise, I'm not going to understand what you're answering. Okay? So here's my question. How many of you, how many spirits, how many souls are there? How many spirits, how many entities are there in the room with us? Tell me, how many of you are there in this room? Speak. How many? interested in it. He's looking at it. Give me a number. Tell me, how many of you are there in this room right now? How many of you? I know your name. Your legion. How many? Hundreds, thousands, millions? How many? Tell me. Speak into the device. Tell me how many of you are there. Here, I'm going to leave it here now. Since putting it over by the chair is not gaining me the same results I get here. So I'm going to ask you this question again. How many of you are there in this room? Speak into the device and tell me how many of you are here. How many of you are here? Speak into the device and tell me how many of you are here. Well, I'm not getting any response. I have gotten the response of strange or strange device when I turn this on a half dozen different occasions. But getting a response to this, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to leave this up here. Okay, let's back this up a little bit. Well, it spit out the word entire. Here, I'm going to leave. Oh. All right, well, to use the audio equipment, I'm going to have the stand set up before we get in here. And so we're starting to capture the audio before we... Come on. There we are. Come on. All right. Yeah, so next week what I'll do is I'll have the audio equipment set up on camera so that we're starting to record audio from the moment we start turning on the broadcast. Okay, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Leave any input or questions, comments. Leave them in the comments or an email. Thank you.